Our today's learning objectives are as follows. The first one, through observation, the students are able to determine the social function, generic structure, and language features of biographical recontext. The second, through problem-based learning model, the students are able to practice their language skills to gather information about social function, generic structure, and language features of biographical recontext by giving and asking information related to famous figures which is suitable with the usage context. Well then, students, talking about definition of biographical recontext. It is a detailed description of a person's life and written by someone else. It's a non-fiction text. Jadi, biographical recontext merupakan gambaran tentang kehidupan seseorang secara rinci dan ditulis oleh orang lain atau orang ketiga, dan ini benar-benar nyata, bukan fiksi. Next, the social function of biographical recontext is to inform by retelling past events and achievements in a person's life so we can get inspiration from his or her life story. It usually tells about specific names of the people involved in the biography. Jika kita berbicara tentang fungsi sosial dari biographical recon adalah menginformasikan kepada pembaca atau pemirsa tentang rangkaian peristiwa yang telah lampau dan pencapaian atau prestasi dari kehidupan orang yang dituliskan sehingga kita mendapatkan inspirasi dari kisah kehidupan orang tersebut atau tokoh tersebut. Furthermore, the generic structure of biographical recontext, there are three parts. The first one, orientation, which provides detail of who, what, when, where. It also introduces the main figure and background information about his or her and what happened with the figure. Kalau kita berbicara tentang struktur teks dari biographical recontext, ada 3 bagian penting yang akan kita ulas. Yang pertama, orientation atau pengenalan terhadap tokoh utama dan informasi tentang latar belakang tokoh tersebut dan apa yang terjadi dengan tokoh tersebut. And the second, series of events retell what has happened. It presents a series of events usually told in chronological order. It begins from the first event, followed by the second event to the last event. Bagian kedua dari struktur teks biographical recontext merupakan rangkaian peristiwa yang menceritakan apa yang terjadi secara kronologis dari awal terjadinya hingga berakhirnya peristiwa tersebut. And the third, reorientation, concludes the retelling of the events. It consists of closures of the figure. It could be some thoughts of the writer as well. It consists of a type of conclusion with a comment of the contributions this person has made or a summary and evaluation of the person's achievement. Di bagian ketiga, reorientation atau bisa kita katakan penutup, ini memuat rangkaian peristiwa yang dijadikan evaluasi untuk memberikan pemikiran dari penulis terhadap prestasi yang dicapai oleh tokoh atau orang yang ditokohkan, atau dijadikan sebagai kesimpulan dengan memberikan komentar atau opini. Take a look example on the biographical recount text about Raden Ajeng Kartini. We have already learned the general structure of biographical recount text previously as follows: orientation, series of events, and reorientation. Let us analyze one by one. For the first paragraph, it indicates the orientation. Why? Because it introduces the main figure and the background information about Raden Ajeng Kartini's life and what happened with the figure. And then the second and the third paragraphs indicate the series of events. And the last paragraph indicates reorientation, because it is the conclusion of the series of events. Well then, biographical recount texts commonly use the language features of as follows. The first one, a biographical recount uses specific names of the people involved in the biography. In the text above, the text tells about Raden Ajeng Kartini from the beginning till the end of the text. It means that biographical recount focuses on the life of a person. Kaedah kebahasaan dalam biographical recount text sebagai berikut. Yang pertama, biographical recount text menggunakan nama khusus dari orang yang terlibat di dalam penulisan biografi tersebut. Misalnya, tadi kita sudah mempelajari kisah Raden Ajeng Kartini. Dari awal sampai berakhirnya teks tersebut berkisah tentang Raden Ajeng Kartini. Artinya, biographical recount text berfokus kepada kehidupan seseorang. And then the second, it is mainly written in simple past tense. Take a look on the biographical recount about Raden Ajeng Kartini. Have you found what tenses are used on the text? That's good. It uses past tense. Biographical recount, which tells about someone's life, commonly is written using past tense, since the events in his or her life are already happened. Jadi, dalam biographical recounts menggunakan simple past tense. And then the third, biographical recount uses linking word to do with time. In the text above, there are some words which indicate time. For example, the year. It connects an event to the other event which happened in the life of the figure. Biographical recount juga menggunakan kata hubung yang mengacu kepada waktu. Sebagai contoh, mengacu kepada tahun. Tahun di mana tokoh itu dilahirkan, kemudian rangkaian kejadiannya tahun demi tahun, waktu demi tahun tertulis di situ. And then the fourth, action verbs are also used in writing a biographical recount. It expresses action like read, write, run, walk, study, and etc. Well then, students, before class dismiss, I would like to give you a kind of task. What you're gonna do is as follows. The first one, write a biographical recontext about your favorite book author in Indonesia or in the world. Sebelum berakhirnya pembelajaran hari ini, ada baiknya Ibu memberikan tugas kepada kalian. Yang pertama, menuliskan biographical recontext tentang penulis favorit kalian. Boleh dari buku bahasa Indonesia atau dari buku luar ya. Misalnya, kalian ingin menuliskan tentang Terelia. Kalian boleh ambil itu dan ulas sebaik mungkin. And then the second, you can gain a lot of information about her or him from the magazine, newspaper, or the internet. Kalian juga dapat memperoleh lebih banyak lagi informasi dari pengarang tersebut melalui majalah, surat kabar, ataupun internet. And then the third, pay attention on the generic structures and language features of the text. And the last, don't forget to submit your task to your teacher in the next meeting. Well then, class, thank you for your kind attention. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you soon. Have a nice day. Stay safe and stay healthy.